Do I say anything?
Oh my God, we're just being normal.
Oh, jerking around.
Do you want to get your headphones? Well, no.
Crystal takes her shirt off. Stick around. Should we say it at the same time?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Jerking around. A podcast with Teisha and Crystal.
Maybe we were meant to be on video.
Welcome. Is this wrong?
No,
It's fake.
I just like it sometimes.
I do too.
Yeah, I think pretending.
It's like, you know when you're like lip syncing? You know? Like, and I...
That was good.
I know. I have the worst voice though. It's
The
bad.
yodel, you have to show no, you are like a good dancer and now a good singer.
No, I'm not a good singer, but I am a good dancer now. But what happened?
I don't know. I think
I was the
being a good
worst
dancer
dancer.
was when you stopped caring. I think as we get older, people say in your 40s you care less, and I kind of agree.
Oh, totally.
Don't you think? Like,
Yeah.
I really, like that video I just posted that was stupid.
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Totally.
Like how stupid. I care sometimes. I care more in business, I think. I don't really care then either.
Yeah.
Here we go. You
Yes.
think I'm stupid?
No, I'm agreeing.
The yeahs are good. Don't take them out.
Yeah.
Because when I'm listening, if you don't give me a yeah, I stop.
I know.
And I'm waiting for it.
Well, when I'm talking to someone, I need the yeah.
Yeah.
It's like checking for retention.
We
Like,
have this thing from Christina. She doesn't mind being mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
That she does a double yeah.
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 It's 3 yeahs.
It
They
is.
love the yeah,
And
yeah,
when
yeah.
you say that, it's like, winning. They
Well,
agree.
it's like, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I do.
We're
The
clicking.
Yeah, we're clicking. Oh,
From
yeah.
Friends, you know?
The best episode, Rachel.
That is like the
Yeah.
best series that time. Anyways.
No, the yeah. I love the yeah.
So keep the yeahs coming.
Okay.
Because I look to you to like,
Yeah.
she makes me think I can do it.
And when, The Bodyguard, do you remember that movie with Whitney Houston? We like loved that movie. It was weird how much we
We would
loved it.
replay it and look at each other like, that's how I feel about you.
Oh no, and we would laugh like with the sister when she was like, he made me think I can do it. It was weird though. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's a little, we could be considered maybe lesbians at points of our life, but we're not, and we're for it. We're so for it if you're into that. G-flip, we're into it.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, we were saying something else about the yeah. Dang it. Christina. Oh, okay, moving on.
Yeah, I love the yeahs. The yeah, however many yeahs you want. 1 yeah, you want 3 yeahs. It's fine.
We were talking about, the dog. That's what I wanted to wait. So Teisha talked about her dog in a sniffer, how he likes, Kyle didn't know what guides was. Maybe we weren't clear enough. With
What?
shovies. He didn't know what it was. I had to like tell him.
He still wasn't getting it?
No, he listened to the last episode and he said, what's shovies?
We should play the first clip.
The first one's so much better. I think we're ready for it.
I just don't think I can do it.
You made me think I can do it.
No, I don't get it. It's so
I had to explain what guides was. And he was like, guides. And I'm like, you guide it.
I just don't think I can share the original. It's so personal. I feel like it's a lot out there.
It's not that personal. You just say that you...
It's like, it's the most personal thing that's ever happened to someone.
No, CITES is personal. Kyle's like, we have been doing CITES more.
He's into the CITES?
Yeah, he's into the CITES, but the funniest part about the last episode is, because like when we're talking, I miss things.
Yeah.
And when you were saying you lean over the bed, and the dog thinks you're saying hi.
He does. He's like, oh, she wants me. And then he jumps up. He thinks I want him to like...
Is he like, what's my dad doing back there?
Well, then Ben's like, get out of here, And he's like, going. And he's like, get, Nash, get. And it's like, it's a lot going on. Sometimes I'll pet him. Like, okay, Nash, going out. I'll pet Nash, and then going out. And then Ben's like, get, Nash, get. It's so wrong. Who's calling you, Bonnie?
Oh, no, not Bonnie
She's
again.
always calling.
Bonnie's calling us again. I can't do it. Should we answer?
No.
I kind of think so.
Oh.
She listens. Bonnie,
Yes.
we're actually recording the podcast right now.
I'll hang up.
No,
She didn't want to be on.
We saw her this weekend and she's like, you guys are telling way too much. You guys
Yeah.
are sharing way too much personal information.
She might be right.
Yeah, I feel right now, I'm petting the dog, you know?
Speaking of, I'm going to get in so much trouble, but I'm not going to name any names. But we have a friend that has I'm going to tell a little fib, but it's like a Great Dane that sleeps in the bed with her and her husband. And she always tells us it's a king bed. And I'm like, what is he thinking when...
Hold the phone. She had a queen bed for so long, though, it was like weird. Like, I feel like I had a queen bed in college, and then as soon as I got married, I graduated to a king. I feel like two grown adults need a king bed.
But we're not going to judge people that have a queen.
I mean, I'm judging a little. It's
But
not
what if they can't afford a queen?
I'll buy him a king. It's the same price. It's like
maybe we can talk to Tuft and Needle and do a promotion.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, are you suffering in a queen bed with another grown adult? Let's get some help. We can have a support group.
Yeah.
No, but she was in a queen bed with her kid too.
Like great. Oh.
So 3 people. So and the dogs.
But when do you get
And
it
then
in?
she got a king bed finally as an adult.
And she acts like it's huge.
And she was like, well, now we got
have
the king.
this huge bed. And I'm like, your dog is huge.
And the king is just a normal bed.
I don't think it's huge.
It's not huge at all. No. So
I asked her, what does the dog think when dad's doing that?
yeah.
And she's like, he's so far away, he's at the foot of the bed. I'm like, no.
It's not a
He's
big
looking.
bed. Yeah.
But I'm going to get in trouble for this story. I've
She
been
doesn't
told
love the
to not
story.
tell it, so I'm going to
Yeah.
sum that story up. But there's 2 things I want to talk about.
No, but my dog is off the bed, just on the side saying hello.
So we were talking about shovies, guideys.
Guideys.
Let's just be clear, it's guiding the shover in. So that's I think enough. I don't think we'll play the real version.
Shover?
The shover.
I wanted to say, I think you need to blurp it, but I was gonna say guiding the but I think that's too detailed for our young listeners. Kyle's like, what kids are listening? He was all mad. But I gotta tell you, so we're talking about Chevy this morning, and yesterday...
Who was talking about it?
Me and you right now.
Oh.
And yesterday I'm reading this book, we have a book club, and I feel like some people in particular pick really dirty books. That's Teisha.
I picked one dirty
It was
book.
awful, incestual, just awful.
So it was
Dirty.
recommended
I went
to
to
me
church
by
after.
by Allie Cito. Yes.
Are you allowed to mention her name?
Maybe not.
I don't think Allie cares.
I don't
She's
think
cool.
Allie cares. She's fine.
No, it's about what's the name of it? It's
I don't think
awful.
Allie listens, but if she is, great book recommendation.
Yeah, more book recommendations. I don't
No.
know what it's called. It's awful. Credence. It's awful and dark and really dirty.
It like you are left feeling a little different. Like
So then
this is uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah. So then we decided to read the story. Because I thought that was so dirty. Let's read the story of the Bible.
Yes.
Nobody read it. This book club dropped.
Everyone read
ball.
the incest book.
Yeah, everybody read the incest. Yes.
Turn.
So then we made a
because
pivot.
you almost needed a cleanse
Yes,
after. Because
it was so bad.
It was like, it wasn't that there was just like sex. It was incestual. Not blood, but like step. But it just was like, what is going on? It was too far.
If my brother could see me right now with you, Lucy.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my gosh, his
And
brother.
she's all, Uncle Jake, no. And it was like, oh my God, why are you calling him Uncle Jake? You haven't met him. And, like, she didn't know him growing up, and then she had to go live with him. But then they were doing it. It was just like wrong.
Oh, there's so many things I want to talk about. Every time you talk, I think of a new thing. So I'm listening to our new book because we were supposed to have book club today, but we had to cancel because this week has sucked.
Yeah.
So I'm at church camp with all these kids. These, at CCV, it's church camp this week, and I was volunteering. So I'm on the bus, and I've had a really bad long week, and I was like, I'm just gonna put an earbud in while I'm on the bus, and did this, covered it, and no one would know I'm listening to my book because Teisha has this thing where if you don't finish the book, you're kicked out of book club. But she didn't finish the book this time. But again, if it's her, it's fine.
If it's me, it's fine.
I thought you could finish it last night. I was like, if she really wants to, she'll just read it in a night.
I was so knocked on my butt from this week.
So I'm listening to this book, and it's so inappropriate, and I'm like,
I haven't gotten to that part. I'm only like 5 chapters.
It's so inappropriately detailed. I think that's why the book club likes it. We're pro having more relations with your husband. Mm-hmm. And the book club, since not the uncle one.
No,
the normal like Colleen Hoovers. They're like, yeah, then Teisha does this thing where she wakes up bed in the middle of the night when that's too much? We've told so much more.
Yeah, he's going to sleep and and I'm like reading, and he's all, good night. Like, he's all, if you want to wake me up, I'll be over here. Good night with your book, He's like, you need the light on for your book? And I'm all, and it's so funny. Because I think I woke him up one time.
No, you said a few when you were
maybe
pregnant.
A couple.
It was a lot.
Yeah, but like if I'm reading and then it's a little, and I'm like, ooh, hey, go, a little,
The wake up is their favorite. Kyle's like, if you want to wake me up.
He loves the wake up. So
I
now
never want
anytime.
to, like, I'm asleep.
Like I'm on Instagram and he's all, are you reading? And I'm all, no. And then like it'll be like my phone set out with a book open. He's all, good night. And I'm all, what's happening now?
So, but the point, this is a stupid story, but the point was I had to stop listening. But it was really graphic. You would
and
like it.
You're on the bus with kids.
Yeah, and I felt like, I don't think this is... we were just singing Light It Up, you know? Light It Up, you know? I forgot.
I don't know what song.
Oh, really? Your kids will like it. Play it in the car.
Yeah.
It's the best one. Light it up, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Knox loves it. Fox would like it. Okay, so I was talking about that. Then I wanted to talk about sex. Baby, do you guys...
Wait, what? I want to talk about sex. I'm like, isn't that when we were talking about for 30 minutes? Like, what else is new?
Dude, I just watched Pitch Perfect. It's so good.
No.
So there's
the movies?
You haven't seen them?
Yeah, like from a long time ago?
We just rewatched them.
Oh.
Ken was over. She rewatched one. We love it. So in carpool, we listen to the Pitch Perfect songs. And one of them, when they battle, is like, let's talk about sex. And then the other guy comes in, baby, let's talk about...
yeah.
But so many people have told us they're doing a lot more sex since the podcast. And we're really excited about that.
Yeah, maybe like 3 people, but we can say a lot.
No one tells you, and you don't even listen. You got to stop saying that.
Oh my God.
It's more than 3 people that said that to me. I could name them right now.
Okay.
But I think that it's like so good that that's happening. So let's talk about favorite positions this week. No, but I think that it's like, I want to just talk about one. Our friend said that it was like they had been going like long spells. And then this, like, they've been listening. She's been doing it more. And now they're getting along better. She's, like, missing him when he's gone. It's, like, crazy how much that can change your relationship.
Yeah, it's a huge factor, I think, in a relationship. It's like, if you're not doing it, I don't think there's a lot of good marriages that are not doing it.
Well, and I think as women,
unless
you think
there's
if
like
you don't
a medical
want to.
reason or something.
Yeah. Have you watched the show Sex Life?
No.
Oh, it's good.
I
told you
I
that.
know. I don't love the shows.
It's not a reality show. You don't like reality shows.
Like it's,
okay, Outlander, they do it the whole time.
No,
and you're all,
only,
it's my favorite night, Ben.
No,
like, yeah,
only
you
the
might as well pull
season.
up Paris
Only
Hilton's sex tape.
No,
That's basically.
We're not into the porn. I'm not into the porn.
Okay.
I'm really not.
No, don't be embarrassed to tell our listeners.
Oh, now she's doing that thing where she tries
don't
to
be
throw me
embarrassed.
I'm really not.
Just because of that time in college where the video cameras were out.
Oh my gosh.
When you star in it, you're less interested in watching.
Yeah.
No, I'm not into that. I just don't think it's like God's
No,
way.
Sex Life isn't just about that. It has a really good storyline.
Does it?
Yeah, it's about like. I think they could do with less sex, to be honest. It kind of ruins the good storyline.
Yeah.
But the first season is about how she was like sexy in college and had this crazy life. And now she's a mom, breastfeeding the baby, wearing a schmata all day.
Oh, yeah.
Her husband goes to work all day. And she just feels like a loser.
Yeah.
Like a mom that's a loser. I forget this isn't work.
Yeah.
And so she like, it's like showing her perspective. She's like daydreaming about the other version of her with the other guy. When she was like crazy and like wanted, and her husband's like not as like crazy anymore.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't like dominate in the bedroom. That sounds super weird. But I think sometimes as kids, when you have kids, you do picture yourselves as mom and dad.
Yeah.
Instead of as like Svetlana and her little helper, you know? Like it's like, especially when they're little and you're breastfeeding and the kid's on your boob, then your husband wants to touch your boob. It's like you don't feel sexy.
Yeah.
So that's like the whole plot line is like how she ends up like driving a wedge between the marriage because not just of sex, but because she craves the other version of herself. And I think it's kind of relatable in marriage. I think sometimes I think the kid life is a hard life.
Yeah.
Like you very much lose yourself in it.
When they're little, for sure.
Yeah, but I do think sometimes this is a really careful subject, but when you do get divorced, you only have your kids half time. And I do think at times you feel the burden of the family full time, and it almost drives a wedge between your marriage, and then all of a sudden you're somewhere you didn't mean to be, where you only get your kids half time because now you're single. And and I think sometimes like have you ever have a moment where you're like, I could just leave this family and like go away? Like I've had a friend
like on a trip.
Or for like maybe a week or 2, or maybe they'll have to come find me. No, but where it gets hard, like I feel like that's a thing that is a dark time. Like as a mom sometimes, especially when your kids are young, or especially if you're the main, I think a lot of moms juggle all the things. We run the family. I think there's moments where it's like, screw you all. I'm gonna just leave.
Well,
I mean, you don't do it.
Sometimes Ben gets home and I'm so maxed out that I'm just kind of like, I think he gets annoyed because I'll be just like, I don't care. And I'm just sitting there and he's like, well, are you gonna help? Like, because I'm like, oh, I've been doing this for like 8 hours. So you're going to just do it for a second, even though he's tired from being at work. So it's hard because I'm like ready to hand it off, like, okay, take over. And he's like ready to decompress from work. And it's kind of like.
Kyle always says that to me when I work like a full, not that we don't work a full day. We work 24/7, but we have sprints,
right?
Like of breaks, and we get to do different things like right now. And when I'm gone like a full day and I get home and I'm just dead to the world, he's like, that's how I feel every day. And I'm like, okay, but in my head I'm like, oh God, that's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. But I think sometimes I think when you're married, it might be appealing. This sounds bad, but I think sometimes people, why divorce rates kind of go high is I think it's like you're craving the break. I think people are craving the break. I don't think you're craving the break, but I think people do crave the break. But if you could build in the breaks within your marriage, I think it would help you stay together.
Yeah.
And go on date nights and go on trips alone.
I know. I wish when the kids were younger, we would have done more date nights. And I had this weird thing where I couldn't leave the kids.
Oh, I still hate leaving the kids.
Oh, I hate it.
I hate leaving the
kids. And like when they were little, it was way worse because I was like and I feel like our marriage totally suffered for like years because I was so obsessed with being with my kids every second.
That
which
you don't
is
put
great.
your husband.
Right.
Yeah. Where they're supposed to be number one and you're supposed to be Svetlana and Bruce instead of mom and dad.
Yeah.
And there's not enough moments of that. Or even like girls' nights, like I'm craving one so bad where I just need a minute of like some of the pressure off my shoulders.
Yeah, I love a good girls' night.
Yeah, and like
Just
even a
dinner.
trip.
It's just a dinner.
Even
It's
a
not
girls'
like we're
trip. Kyle
out.
hates girls' nights. He hates
We
them.
literally just go to dinner.
I know. He thinks we're like on the bar in college. I swear that's what he pictures.
It's so not like
I know,
that.
I know.
It's just nice to like see your friends and not have to take care of anybody, clean up,
put the
pick
kids
up.
to bed.
Oh,
I've been at girls' dinners where they're like, can we stay like 20 more minutes and almost bedtime?
Yeah.
But I think those things are so important. I think the burden of the family, especially if you're a working mom and you're juggling the kids, if you're not a working mom and you're a full-time mom, you get no break. No break. And I think sometimes I've had people where they've gotten divorced and that first month of the part-time, sounds so bad, but they're like, it's the first break I've ever had. Like the first time the dad actually like stepped up and did anything. And it's just sad. I just don't want people to think you have to go that far to get the break. If you bring the break into your marriage and you make each other first, it's going to be way easier on you than being a single parent or starting off with another partner and blending those families.
Yeah.
Because I've talked to a lot of people about marriage and I think because we're so open about the struggles, I think that they think that they're alone in it and the only way to get out of the struggle is to leave.
Well, and I feel like some people marry someone that's maybe not as helpful.
Yeah.
I think that can be hard on a marriage, and I'm not judging if divorce is right or wrong for that situation. I think you should always try to work it out for when you have kids involved. But I can't identify with those people because Ben is so helpful. He like is so helpful, and he's probably like, she doesn't. No, I'm just kidding. But I can't imagine like as busy and crazy as it gets, if I didn't have a helpful husband, I would want to ram my head into a wall.
See, and I love Kyle, and he's amazing, and he's maybe
not as helpful,
and that's okay. Like he helps where he helps, but that's where that burden of like.
Maybe that's why you're craving the break. I'm all, because I don't crave it as much.
You live in a break.
Well, like Ben can tell.
That's why he goes hunting.
Well, Ben can tell when I'm getting done, and then he'll be like, here, I'll take Fox to the gym with me, or he'll be like, why don't you go do this? It's hard with 4 kids though, because even if he takes 3 of them, when you have 4 kids, there's no really break.
And you handle having a little one really well. Like
he's just the best.
He is, but it's still like he talks to you all day long.
Yeah.
Like I love him. But like when you have someone little, my kids don't talk as much. So when my brain's spinning, I don't have to answer, but like I'll be on the phone with you in a detailed conversation about something important, and it's like, there's the firehouse, which is great. Yeah. But it's hard to work like that. Like, and you juggle it really well.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
You do. But I just think that's like a thing. I think sometimes, so people I've talked to about marriage and they want to break more than they don't like their husband. That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
They want the break more than they want a divorce. They want help. They're tired. And the only way out they see is divorce. But I'm like, let me paint a real picture for you. The friends that I've had that have gotten divorced, it is not easier. It is like what I would have pictured for divorce and what divorce looks like in many circumstances. I'm like, holy crap, it's harder than I thought. But I think a lot of times, like on social media, we're not posting how hard divorce is.
Yeah.
You know, it might look like you have a new boyfriend or that you're traveling with this new guy, but
Yeah, so
I don't
people
think they're
think
showing.
it's going to be better if they go that route.
How
but
much
it's
they
not.
spend on lawyers' fees. Like, it's insane what people battle, and you get nowhere.
Yeah,
if
that's
I were to
sad.
tell anyone going through a divorce and they're battling, I feel like the lawyer's encouraged to battle these things to just take more money. And at the end of the day, the court said unless they have a needle in their arm, they're getting half and half.
Yeah.
Like, but I think the lawyers kind of lead into like, you might win. Get me those bank statements. Show me that he's out at the bar and not being a good dad.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything. And the divorce gets so ugly. It's just hard. I just don't think there's a lot of painting on that. And like what a holiday is like when you're alone without your kids. Like I would be in the fetal position.
Yeah.
You know, but I think if we could just work those breaks into our marriage or into yourself, you might not have that resentment towards your husband, even resentment towards your kids, even where you just feel like you're drowning.
Yeah.
This week was a drowning week for me, so that might be why that's more identifying. Kyle was awesome this week, and he can tell when I'm done. Like today, you know, we talked about this summer. He's like, so what are the kids doing today? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a full day. My mom's in the hospital. I'm going to go see her after this. Then we have a listing appointment. I'll see the kids around 4. And
Yeah.
he's like, okay, like that means he'll figure it out. Like he's done pretty good,
Yeah.
but it's hard.
The poll on baby talk,
Yeah.
unanimously keep it to yourself.
Really? I legitimately had someone message me saying, I think baby talk's healthy.
Who was it?
My sister. Oh my gosh, what did the table ever do to you?
That's how your
She's
family
like-
was. When you guys were little, you were like, Sissy, come with me. And it was like,
Well, no, she
you
goes-
would sleep
she
snuggled.
literally said, she
That's
goes,
hilarious.
No.
Because I know your sister. And I know how you guys were growing up because I was like, this is different.
No, she literally goes, I baby talk too. She goes, but I think it's healthy. And then she was like,
One addict to another. Like, you know, if you're doing something weird, you're like, it's healthy.
so she's like, I don't feel like mom ever did that to us. She was like, maybe I got it from you. And then I
You
was
did.
all,
You were very like, even with Tana when she was little, you'd be like, Tana, let's do snuggies. And I'd be like, what the heck? Me and my brother went like snuggies tonight. You would like snuggle her and
I
like
feel like a
pinch
boy
her.
is different, you know, like a brother and a sister. If they're snuggling, it's not the same as sisters.
Okay, let's talk about
Don't
you
you
and
think?
Fox.
Yeah.
Because you're doing little weird things to him. Fox,
Oh
if
my
you need
gosh,
anything,
no, don't
and
say
Kiki's
that.
here.
No, like I'm gonna have CPS banging down my door. I do
No,
weird things.
I
to
do
him.
punch Braxton's butt, and he's like, "Yeah, Mom, you gotta stop pulling my pants down and pinching my butt." And I'm like, "Don't tell people that. Like,
Yeah,
if
like
you tell
it's-
your teacher,
Yeah,
then
you'll
I'm getting
get
a call."
100%.
I'm not saying you're doing anything with weird, but you
I
are
don't.
into weird snuggles. And
Oh
like
my gosh, no,
weird things.
nothing's weird about
This
it.
is actually a stage intervention.
It's all normal, appropriate touching.
I'm
And,
glad.
like, not no.
But I did-
nothing in the no-no
I
square.
did tell Teisha that I've talked to a bunch of teeny boppers recently.
Oh, and none of them wear. a bra.
None of them are wearing bras to school. They said no one wears a bra.
Thank
know?
you.
But they do wear that clip.
Yeah, exactly.
So all of the
Yes, clip, no bra. Hello.
I know. Maybe you could like pretend you were like high schooler one day. You would love it. I feel like you want to go back. Maybe
I just got
maybe
kind
you're
of like,
not craving the break.
I kind of got a little bit of adrenaline when you said that. I was like,
know, I
is
could
there
tell.
a thing? Remember, wasn't there a show when they went back? It was like
17.
with Drew Barrymore.
oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Never Been Kissed. Yes,
Have
she
you
was
been
like
kissed?
undercover or something.
See, I wouldn't want to go back at all. I feel like
What?
I came, I saw, I did, and I'm done. Like I
Oh,
did it.
I loved it. It was so much fun.
What part?
High school.
What was your favorite thing?
Well, cheer, obviously. It was just so fun. But I had a really messed up family.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was very much my escape and the happy moments.
So that was like the pivot for you.
It
The first like,
Well, no, it was just like I threw myself into school and cheer, and then I just had the best time because it was so. I don't know. I thought it was fun.
I don't mean to be serious. Maybe I'm not in a laughing mood this week because I'm on 9-night patrol, but I know you're going to say this is boring, but
Oh, here we go.
I think it's important. Something
Lesson time.
No. I think this is another thing. I was talking to someone at Dive the other day, and they were like, I'm so glad I'm doing this. This is something new.
Doing what?
Dive. Our kids do Dive. And
In the summer.
and she's like, it's so good for them to try something new. It's good for their confidence. And she's like, and they didn't really want to do it, and I had them do it. And I'm like, so often as parents, we miss that mark. Like, because our kid doesn't want to do something, we say, oh, okay.
Oh, my kids don't ever want to do anything.
But a lot of
And they're
parents
always
these
doing
days
it, yeah.
are like,
they let them be the
yes.
boss. Yeah.
And they don't realize, like, Maddie, I've talked about this, I think, didn't want to do
I was just
volleyball.
talking to someone about this yesterday.
Oh, you care now.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But I don't want to say names or circumstance because I feel like it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to
But
go
they
into
were
all
saying how they were forcing their kids to do something and the other person wasn't. And I feel like this is a stupid story when I can't say anything. So
I
never
know.
mind.
What's the purpose? So were they enjoying that they were doing it? Were they mad the other person wasn't? What was the like?
We were just saying the difference in parenting.
Yeah.
That some parents.
So you're basically judging the parenting.
Kind of.
I love that you just walk into it. I would be like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. No, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not judging.
No, I'm joking. I'm just joking.
I mean, I think we all judge anyways. It's not, it's like if it's not what you do, you think what you do is the best, that's why you do it. So I think
See, and I'm the opposite. I'm so always like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Parenting's like the biggest thing I check myself on.
Yeah.
Everything else, like at work, I'm like, I'm doing it right. I'm not questioning it at all. But for some reason, and wife, I don't question, but parenting, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like I think we have our own things, and like I want to make sure I didn't do some of the things that, I mean, my parents did the best job they could, but some things really were pivotal, good, and some were pivotal, bad. Not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to pivot good. And I think with the pressures of all the things, I'm like, I want to make sure they stay on the straight and narrow, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, is this right? Is this right? And then the guilt of like, am I around enough? Am I present? Am I supporting? You know, I'm always worried.
maybe I should.
No, I love that you're like that. I
do that with CJ.
Yeah, that's how I feel with all of them all the time.
I'm like, is he happy? Is he this? With the other kids, I'm like, I don't care. You're fine.
Yeah, I love that. I wish I could. But the point is, making them do what they don't want to do. I'm saying in high school, you were so involved that it was so much more fun.
Right.
But what if most kids are scared of failure. We're all scared of failure.
Right.
What if you were like scared of not making the team, but wanted to make the team, and your mom was like, you don't have to. You would miss out on why high school was so good.
Totally. Well, that's why God gives you parents, because they know better. Like, the kids shouldn't be calling the shots.
They don't know what they're doing at all.
If I let my kids do what they wanted, they would eat crap, play video games, do nothing, and be miserable. Even Kennedy was like, she was like, last night, she's like, I wish we had dive tomorrow, because I feel just like, ugh, when I don't do anything for the day.
I agree. But what if they didn't want to?
Right.
I just think let's do it like a push of let's not worry so much what they want to do and do what we think is best for them.
Right. And you can obviously have these are your options if you want to give them a little bit of like.
My mom did. You're not coming home after school. So
you
which
can
thing do you want to do?
A or B.
Volleyball or cross country?
It's like when I pretend to fox. I'm like, you can wear your tennis shoes or your tennis shoes. You're not wearing your rain boots. You know?
Yeah.
Like, which tennis shoes do you want to wear? Like, and then he feels like he has a choice, but he doesn't.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But then I was thinking about that the other day. Do we think that we give them too many options because we always give them a choice of A and B?
I don't always give a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. But I do think it's like a newer movement.
Yes.
Of like, you have choices. Which one do you want? Like, have you ever heard a parent in the store and they're like, you're not getting the Skittles, Frankie, but you can have a snack at home. And I'm like, what's wrong with just saying, no, Frankie, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I know I do it too. I'm always like, okay, well, I'll come back and take you there later. It's like, why? Yeah. Why? No, I'm taking you nowhere. You're never going to Target again. Yeah. Why can't that be enough?
I feel like that's more the page I'm on. I'm always like, no, we're not doing that.
I know, but I hear you. And then, like, Ken knows how to get you.
I know. Ken really works.
She does. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just got your ticket.
I know.
Yeah, but like Bear, and CJ, you're like, no.
Yeah.
But like Ken.
And Fox too, I feel like I'm like, no.
Yeah, but Ken, she can get you.
I know.
To pretty much do anything.
I feel like she inherited my ability to
She is just like you like that.
Oh.
She'll be like, but Mom, if we're at the mall, we'll spend time together the whole car ride.
And I'm all, okay.
Yeah. It's like I can see it happen.
And then she's all.
Yeah, I see it happen. I'm on the phone and I'm like, you don't have time for that today. And then Ken will go, but Mom. And then you're like, all right, well, in 5 minutes. And I'm all, what the heck?
And the other kids, I'm all, I said no, you
yeah.
No.
Yeah, she just thinks like you though. So like she knows the right things.
She knows how to get what
Maddie's
she wants.
like that with me.
Yeah.
Because she like gets the things I care about. So she'll like be like, well, if I don't do student council, then I'll have more time at church. And it's all, huh. You know?
Yeah, and
like she knows how to
yeah.
like spin it where I'm like, I do care about church.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like
She's lying.
It's like a master manipulator.
Yes.
I have that. It's bad. I can get
anyways.
anybody to do anything. It's just like wrong.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we all do it where we're strong on some things
Yeah.
and weak on another. You
Right.
know? Like you throw and bear in the pool all the time. This time you're like, Fox can swim in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Because you just don't care as much. Because you know
Yeah.
he'll swim.
Yeah.
But when you had that first kid, it was like, we have to swim now.
Right.
Don't you think?
Yeah, like I care way less about things that don't matter.
Oh, my first kid, I did all this stupid stuff.
I
And then
know.
now you know it's going to work out. Mm-hmm. But I wish I could know right now it's going to work out. Because I don't have a teenager yet. To know my, to
Like
know.
we don't have an 18-year-old that's like, that we are like, well done, we did it, you know?
Yeah, and then you worry less with the 16 and 15 after that.
Right.
You know? It's just like, oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, moving on. This is really something. But I was just thinking, Maddie didn't want to try out for volleyball. And I could tell she kind of wanted to, but there was girls that she was like nervous about, and it wasn't like her main friends. So she was crying like hysterics, like foaming at the mouth. And I was like, you're trying out. And once I saw that she was that scared about it, I was like,
I am. I'm sorry.
tell her to not ask anymore. Again.
She said, can I go on a walk with Fox and Nash?
Like, I'm doing the podcast. We'll talk
I'm
about this
listening,
after.
sorry. And she
That's
wants
what I
me to
meant.
order something from Amazon. She's whack.
And you're so all about it.
No, I'm not ordering it. I'm not ordering it.
Guaranteed you'll order it. Mark my words, you will order it. She's yeah. And like she doesn't want anything. I know she doesn't.
Yeah, who?
Ken.
No, she asked if she can go on a walk, and I
Yeah.
said, bring CJ. And then she said, can you order this and I'll give you money? And she never gives me money.
And
so
you
I'm
still keep
done
doing it.
No, I'm done doing that. No, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. No, it's so annoying.
Anyways, my point was it's okay to lean in and push your kids. It's just hard when you're doing it.
No.
When you're making them do something they don't want to do.
Yeah, oh
it's
yeah.
really hard.
Well, I feel like my mom never made me do anything that I didn't want to do. And so I always was like sitting on the sidelines growing up, like, I wish I could do that, but I like didn't have the confidence.
Yeah.
And no one was forcing me. So I feel like I never did anything that I didn't want to do. And it's like so unhealthy.
Yeah, because you don't know what you like. Like Broxton doesn't want to do any, like he's not like a Joe sports guy.
Or just even dumb little things that you're scared of. Just conquering that is like, it's like a muscle.
Yeah, it is like a muscle.
And so the more you do it, the more you, like right now, if my kids ever go on those like I remember Ken and Bear growing up hated those like blow up slides, and I'd have to climb to the top of the slide and throw them down.
Screaming.
And then they'd go, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And even Bear on the roller coaster, we could tell that story, but so I feel like the more you make them do things they're scared of, and then they see, oh, it's okay, then they learn that in life. I never had that, so that's why I'm scared of everything.
I'm scared of everything too, and I hate it.
Oh, I'm like, oh, there's a bee. Like,
Me
you know,
too.
it's anything. It's so
you are so scared of a bee.
everything. I hate
It's like
a bee.
it doesn't even hurt.
I'm-
It's not a big deal.
I don't-
And now Ken's like, a bee! And I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm so scared of anything. Like, it's the dumbest thing. Like, I can't do anything. And I do feel like my kids are way more adventurous because I always make them do stuff.
I agree.
Even though I was like on the sidelines, like,
Me
God,
too.
please,
I'm always like
please
that.
don't let them die.
I'm always like that.
I know.
I'm like, please help him be okay. I just trying to help
They're
him
on
in
that
the future.
janky Ferris wheel at the
Yeah.
thing, and I'm like, God, just don't let them die. But
Yeah, I push
was
them all
scared
the
to go
time,
on that,
too.
and my mom would be like, okay, you don't have to go. But like, I wanted to go. I
Yeah.
was just scared.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to, then they'll grow up knowing I can do things that I'm scared of, and then it's going to be okay.
It builds their confidence.
Yeah.
But I think in our society right now, me included at moments, we're worried about being happy. And instead we need to worry about the growth that comes, not just the happy moments.
Well, or understand that happiness comes from
True happiness.
Struggle.
Yes.
Yes.
From struggle and overcoming. Yes.
Even when Kyle was quitting his job, when he worked for his dad's company, it's a wonderful company, but there was a different confidence in him and I, because I had gone and like had to step out of my comfort zone in so many avenues of life, and he hadn't done that. He still went to college, he played baseball, like he did these things, but he hadn't like started from nothing and like made something. And I had done that in little things, like a bunch, where I'm like, it's not that hard, just start. And he's like, what? And I'm like, Kyle, just you quit and we're just gonna start it. And he's like, and that's normal. It's normal to not feel like that's so easy.
Yeah.
But I kind of had done it with work, and I feel like I'd done it in other
Yeah.
things that I was like, and my faith is really strong in those ways where I'm like, God's got this, just step, trust me. And after he did that, the man he became because of that battle. He wasn't confident in himself. He wasn't confident. Oh my gosh.
Nothing. I'm just turning it
She's
over.
on a walk with CJ. Like,
I'm listening. You're talking.
No.
Why can't
What are
I
you
look
looking
at
at?
my phone?
I know.
It's like the phone police. It's like, are you like an undercover phone agent? I'm sorry. It's like,
I just know it so well.
If you bust
I know
me
the 12
10
more
times,
punches.
she gets a raise. Like,
No.
it's like.
But anyways, who he became because of that battle, I feel like we miss those
Yes.
joys, because the battle is where confidence is come.
Totally.
And like, so pushing through hard things is where confidence really comes. But so often we're scared. Even me, like, I step out of my comfort zone kind of a lot, and it gets exhausting. Like, cause I'm like, even doing the podcast, I feel so naked.
Oh, it's the worst.
I feel so stupid.
I
and
never would have done this if she wouldn't have made me.
No, and I because I've stepped out, I am a good stepper,
Yeah.
but I also need like a buddy saying it's going to be worth it. And you're usually that person. So since you're not, it's like, okay, let's cancel. Like
Yeah.
this week before I got a
I'm
text,
all
I was
shit.
like,
I was like, should we just not record today? Like,
Yeah.
the wind blows. I'm all, better not record, you know?
well, even when I love Bonnie, but when she was like, you're sharing too much, I was like, crap. But our whole vision is I want to share too much.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we need to share more real, because I'm sick of the BS of the world. I feel like it's just so much of it. But anyways, it's just like vulnerable. But you grow on the other side of struggle.
Yeah.
But we have to let our kids struggle, ourselves, even being an agent. You didn't want to be an agent. And I was like, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
We're going to do this.
I was like, I'm still every day like, I'm not gonna ever
Yeah.
sell a house again. You know,
yeah.
it's weird.
But luckily you have me.
But I
what if
also
you don't have
never
me?
stepped.
Yes.
And also, I think if you go this is where I think everything changed for me, is I think kids, you know, like the Mormon religion I actually think it's really smart that they send people on missions.
Oh, I love it.
I do think the mission is so smart and so healthy, and like you learn to rely on God, you learn to go in somewhere you're not familiar with, because especially if you don't go away to college, you don't get that, like, you just learn so much about yourself when you're on your own. And I just think it's like, I wish like everyone could do that, you know?
I think the mission is cool. And I do think Mormons kill it in their value-based system, in the way they grow, and like the way like they live, the family values, the break on Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many good things.
I agree.
That the world needs. You know what's annoying is so I had these clients once that, again, we're more serious. I had these clients once, they were from another country. Emily and Todd were buying a house for sale by owner. So I had to work with the owner very closely because they didn't have an agent. And they talked about America, and they were talking about all the things they hated about America. And they're like, what I hate about Americans is that when you ask, they're so fake. They said all they care about is being happy all the time. Everything's so fake. And they're like battling. Like in their country, they work, they like slave. They came to America, started these businesses out of nothing. They're not worried about being happy. They're worried about like providing for their family.
Right.
And I do think it's a very American thing to be happy and to work.
For sure.
So they said, what I hate about Americans is you say, how are you? And everyone says, good, good. How are you? Good, good. And they're like, no, you say the truth. Are you not good? Say not good. And that's how you connect. They said Americans are hard to connect with because everyone is so like face forward.
Yeah.
Everything's great. How are you? Good. Well, how can I keep that conversation going? More
Right.
good on top of good. And if you're not good, then you feel stupid you're not good.
Right.
So it's like something ever since years ago when people ask me, I try to say the truth. It's
Yeah.
not easy though.
Yeah.
So now, like this week, a few people have asked how I'm doing. And I'm like, oh, not good. Like, it's a really sucky week. Like, I'm drowning and my mom's in the hospital. I'm going to cry about it. And they're like, ooh, okay, well, I'll be praying. And they like don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's wrong with saying,
Right.
you know, and like one time I did a live video because I'm sick of the highlight reel, and I posted like, work sucked this week. Like, everyone wants to join our team because it looks like it's fun all the time. It's not fun all the time.
Right.
It is so not fun all the time. Like, a really bad thing happened last week. I can't get over it. It's not fun all the time.
Right.
But like, when you say that, so I posted like, hey, real estate sucks this week. I'm living in a trailer. Things are hard. And they were like, oh my gosh, Crystal. But it was like weird. Like, I'm fine. I'm just saying
Right.
the truth. They were like, don't give up. You're a positive light. I'm like, I'm not like hanging myself. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a thing. You're not allowed to not be okay.
Right.
But I'm fine. I'm going to battle.
Like, you're fine. You're just having a moment.
Why can't you have a bad day or a bad week and be okay with it?
Right.
It's like a thing.
Well, I think normally people share that with like close circle. So I think when you put it out on a platform like social media,
Yeah.
people think it must be very bad.
Yeah.
Because nobody does.
Yeah.
It's like,
But even like
people
talking,
get divorces where I'm like, you were just happy last week. What the heck
all the
happened?
time. Oh my
So
gosh, I've
I
seen
just
that all the
think-
time.
Yeah, I think like what you're
That's
saying.
one of the reasons why I was trying to do it.
Our culture is very like, you share with your inner circle when you're struggling, but you don't ever share with like the world. And then
Or like people are asking if you're okay. I'm not. Like
Right.
this week is like a hanging on by a hair.
Totally.
But am I a battler? Yes. But
and
is
like
it okay?
you're not like not okay, like gonna die.
Yeah, but
right.
is it okay that it's not great all the time?
Right.
That work is really crazy
Yeah.
and that like I overextended myself and I'm like battling in it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, like you should see it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I just can't be fake today.
Yeah.
I can't be like,
it's hard. Well, and I
You
think
know?
because you're always so
Yeah.
happy and positive, when you're not that way, people are like very deer in the headlights. Like what
It
this
feels
is.
more extreme.
yeah.
I feel like a lot of times I'm like, and so people expect that from
Yeah,
me.
you're right.
You know, I'm very open about it.
Yeah, you are.
They're like, how's it going? I'm all,
yeah, I'm all, yes.
yeah, Tisha's in a good mood.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
you're right.
I'm all, and
But
then
you're-
I'm sick of it. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
And
yeah.
So I feel like I'm more.
See a double yeah, there is a double yeah there.
I'm more like like open about things being
Yeah,
annoying.
I'm not open at all.
And so people are not as like they're like laughing when I'm yelling, you know,
Yeah.
about Ben
And me,
or
they're
the
all-
kids. And with you, they're like, "Oh God, she's not posting a motivational quote," you know, because you're
She
so.
made fun of me the other day about it. Was that when I said about the clip?
Yeah, so
Yeah, and she's all, okay, why don't you post 10 more quotes today?
I love that about you, though, and people love that about you.
Yeah.
And I do think people look to you as a positive upbringing source.
Yeah.
Or uplifting, not upbringing, uplifting source.
Yeah.
I'm not as much. I'm more like, yeah, you know, this sucks, but
Yeah,
it's
you're
fine.
right. They're not as worried with me.
Yeah.
What I was thinking though is, sometimes for me, I don't want to be around other people when I'm not put together. And so like if
Because
there's-
of that reason,
yes,
yeah.
and it's like exhausting sometimes to carry that
Mm-hmm.
weight of like being on, you know?
And I
Yeah.
think that back to what you were saying, people either want to fix it, like if
Right.
you express that you're having a hard time, someone's like, well, how can I make it better?
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of just like acknowledging
Being
it.
there
Yeah.
with you.
Oh man, that is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting there in it for a minute with you.
Yeah, one of my camp girls this week, and I've had the same girls for like 3 years, so I know their parents really well, and one of them sat and like talked to me about my mom, and it was so nice. I was
Yeah.
like, thank you, I just needed a minute,
Yeah.
you know? And she's like a PT person, so I got to
Yeah.
ask her questions, and I could tell like from her, she was like, I'm gonna sit in this.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna rush out the door, and
Right.
I'm gonna sit here and like talk
She
to
just
her.
wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
so nice, and maybe we all rush around too much where we miss those moments.
Right.
Because it was so nice.
Well, sometimes it's hard to know what to say. My brother-in-law he has brain cancer, and so I feel like we went out to visit them a couple weeks, and before we went to visit them, I was like struggling
Nervous.
with how to
Approach
or
it.
how to talk to her on the phone because she lives in Texas, so we haven't seen each other. So you get kind of disconnected. So I feel like when I called, I had to be like, you know, how is everything? And like I was like, should I not talk about other things?
No, that's real.
So so it wasn't that I was trying to be distant from her. I just didn't really know how to approach the situation, knowing it was such a hard thing they're going through. And I'm like, but then once we were there and I was just hanging, being normal, and then we could talk about it, we could be normal. In 1 minute we're laughing, in 1 minute we're crying, you know? Then now it's like way easier to like talk to her. We're way more connected. And I just spent time. So I think if we just spend time with
agree.
people in their struggle and just be there. You don't have to say the right thing or not say the right thing or do any specific thing. If you're just sitting there with them in their struggle, you'll learn how to be.
Yeah.
Tana said that to me, my sister-in-law. If you don't know, my niece passed away a few years ago, and Tana said one of the hardest things, I'm actually so glad we're talking about this, because I think it's, people don't know what to do.
They don't, and so
Tana
you shy
said
away.
What happens is no one talks to her.
Right.
Like, especially right after Lincoln passed, everybody felt so bad that they just didn't talk to her.
'Cause
they
what
didn't
can
know
you
what
say?
Yeah, what do you say? And she always says the worst thing is to not talk to, like now I
Right.
feel more isolated and alone because no one's talking to me.
Right.
And it's like people are she's helped me see a good way to be. And
Right.
she's like, there's nothing anyone's going to say that's
Right.
going to make it better. And sometimes like it's hard when people are going in trying to say those things.
Right.
She's like, just be in it with me.
Totally.
Just like you said, just this sucks. And right now it just sucks. we're not going to see the lesson in it.
There's no. It
It's
just
losing your daughter. It just sucks.
There's no brain cancer. It's horrible.
Brain cancer. It just sucks. This is awful.
Right. And I do feel like before I went to visit and was in it with them, I was like trying to find I was trying to be like positive, but not too positive. I was like very questioning the things I talk about, the things I say. I was like way overthinking it. And then when we were just there spending time together, I'm like, they don't need anything except you to be there and loving them.
I agree.
And like, I think that's so many people.
I'm so glad you went.
Yeah.
As soon as you went too.
Totally.
Because they do just need people around them.
And everybody needs that, even if it's not something as extreme as losing a child or cancer. I think even if you're just having a hard week, like with your mom, right? Just having someone be in it with you is
Well, I think the other thing people do is they avoid the subject.
Yes.
I don't want to bring up Lincoln.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
And I've heard a lot, and even with my own experience, it's like I'm always thinking about it.
Right.
Yes.
If you talk about it, it's not like it's.
Tana says that all
Right.
the time. She
Right.
said she loves when people bring it up. And that's one of the reasons I like to do the auction is because it's like we're bringing it up for months. We're saying her name for months.
Right.
We're talking about her for months.
Yeah.
And it's like an easier way for me to like
talk about
her. But she said people are so scared to talk about her and all she wants to do is talk about her.
Right.
I think that's like good because you're worried they might cry, but like Danae told me this years ago. She had a friend go through a really hard time and she said there's nothing I could say. It was her daughter. She had a type of cancer.
Yeah.
And she said I just showed up and cried with her. And I love that she told me that because I show up and cry with people all the time. You know when you're trying to be the brave one and you're like I can't go there, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
And it's like people want someone to cry with. They want like a burden.
You're really good at that. I'm not the best with that.
Oh, I do it with everybody.
I'm like avoiding. I'm all, see ya.
Oh, our good friend's parents passed this last year and I cried with her. Every time I call her, I start with her. We just cry together. There's nothing, it's such a hard scenario. There's nothing, she knows, she's a good person. She's a positive Nancy. She knows, but it doesn't, I think sometimes when we're trying to be so positive, we're deflecting from just, it's okay to sit in pain.
Yeah.
And pain builds character. Pain helps you grow. Somebody said it on a podcast the other day, pain tells you you're alive.
Yeah.
Like that's how you know it's the book. It's the naughty book. The guy.
She's on this motivational podcast.
It wasn't a podcast. The guy, the brother got shot and I thought it was so cool. He's like, I'm not taking pain pills. Pain lets me know I'm alive.
Yeah.
I was like, it's so true.
Right.
This is a deep talk. I was crying today.
I'm just not
a happy girl today.
Sitting in
I don't think there's a wallow. There's a point from wallowing.
No, and it's not a wallow, but I'm just not comfortable being emotional always.
Yes, you're not.
So for me to sit and cry with someone is like very
hard.
rare and hard because I don't go to that place a lot.
No.
I feel like I have to be like on my period or like you have to catch me at a weird.
Well, I think it's like your natural feelings because I don't think your place isn't maybe to be the cry next to.
Right.
People aren't looking to you to be. I think people are looking at me kind of like because I'm a motivational.
Yeah.
For like that, like.
Right.
It's going to be okay. And I think for me, it's okay to say it right now.
Right. Yeah.
It just sucks. But I think people go to you for a different, I'm not looking for you to cry with me. If you're crying with me, I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah, like it's not okay.
I look to you to fix it.
Yeah,
you're
I'm a
my
fixer.
fix-it.
I'm
so
a
I'm
fixer.
calling you, like this morning I called you, okay, here's my problem, help me see it. You're not like, that sucks. I'd be like, hello?
I know.
Is this
I
on?
can't even picture
Hello?
doing that.
I need help
Even
here.
then, he calls me to fix. What do I do?
Yes,
I'm such a
you're
fixer.
the fix.
He's the more wallower. Like
like I'm calling Ben, he's hugging me, you okay? You know,
Yeah, I've never
that's
done
what
that.
I'm doing with Ben. I'm not calling Ben to fix. Kyle's a fix. He's never crying with anybody. If
Me
Kyle
neither.
cries with you, oh boy.
I know.
Like the world's ending. He doesn't cry about anything. The guy's never cried.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, huh? You're fine. And I'm like, Hudson's toenail's missing. He just pulled it off. He's like, oh, you're fine. You don't need it. I'm like, well, I think it hurts.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Okay,
That's
so anyways,
so funny.
I think the lesson, I gotta have a lesson. The lesson here is, it's okay to not be okay.
And like, let's sit with people and
It doesn't mean I'm not fine. No. I yelled at Virginia the other day. She asked me, you okay? And I was like, don't ask me that. I'm always okay. And she was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then I told her all the things wrong with my day. And she's like, see, I knew it. I was just trying to find out what those were.
Right.
But there's like a fine line.
Siri.
No one cares. We do need to drink water though. But
Oh, is that what she said?
Yeah.
I'm all, did Ben call her? He is so psycho. He's like, everywhere I look, there's a water bottle. Like, they just magically appear because he's always trying to hydrate me.
I think the lesson here is it's okay to not be okay, but don't wallow in your sorrows. And it's okay to just talk to people and show up for people if they need it.
And just sit with them in their...
Yeah. And just because we're talking about weird things doesn't mean that we're like not okay. I hate that. That's why the one where you're like, I'm okay. It's funny, but you are okay.
Yeah.
It's like a fine line.
Totally.
And battle builds character, so God's developing my character this week. Mm-hmm. Well, I think every time you go through something, there's something you can pivot from it. And I think I have to take a little less on my plate. That's
I think that's a
learned
good
this week.
lesson
I
for
don't
you.
have, and even like when we're talking about the stories about people, my phone is so busy, and that's why I'm so like that with my phone. If I looked at my phone, every time I got a ding
Right.
today, I couldn't get a word in.
Right.
There's probably 50 notifications a day. But my point is, what's sad is I don't have time to sit sometimes with people.
Right.
And I feel bad about that. So I got to unload this schedule
so you can
somehow.
not just surviving, but thriving.
Thriving. It's a survival week, not a thrive.
And it leaves room for things like something unexpected with your mom.
Yes.
You have more space for it.
I didn't have space
I
for it
love the
this
leave
week.
room. I feel like
Yeah.
that was in a church service once. That was
Yeah.
like, leave room for God to do stuff.
Work.
Don't have your schedule so full that you can't see the things that He's gonna
I do.
drop in.
I so agree with that. Aaron just did series on that too. I haven't walked. When I walk is when I pray, when I have time with God. And without that moment, even to start my day, I just feel like I'm on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I don't feel centered, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta take less on. It's a goal of mine. So this week we're gonna focus on moments. Be present in it.
Being with people in their, whatever they're going through, just hanging with them and making them feel not alone.
Yeah, and making room for things in the schedule. I remember one time I was busy. I was slow at work, and we're pretty different with the way we run our team. I'd like to talk about that one podcast about like our business model. It's super different, but what we focus on is like when God provides, He provides, and He knows what's next. So we trust Him to provide it. We're not making.
So if you're having a slower time, then He's wanting you to focus somewhere else.
Yeah. So I remember one time I was slow, and then my uncle was diagnosed with cancer, and then it turned quick. And luckily I was so slow because I was able to drop everything and be at the hospital like consistently. Like it was
Like
the
all day,
only
every
thing.
day.
Yeah. And I remember I thank God so much for that break, because if I wasn't, and that's probably what's bugging me, is I'm feeling so guilty about this week, because that's what I pride myself on with our job, is that important things, I'm there.
Yeah.
And this is like one of the first times I haven't been able to be there. I'm going there right after this, but I do think that that's so important to make room in your schedule to show up. Because I think even with the people I've talked to this week where I like said, I'm not doing great, they're like, okay, praying. I think we're just all so busy that we miss moments.
Yeah.
So lean into those moments.
Totally. I agree.
And then have sex with your husband. Still, keep that going. Let's hear about it.
Oh.
Not like the positions.
I'm like,
but like how it's helping your marriage. Because I've heard so much. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, crap, I'm getting behind. I got to make up for it this weekend, you know?
Oh, well, you got a whole week to.
Yeah. Chevys.
If you're really struggling, please reach out to a qualified professional, because that's not us,
We're just here to share our journey.
and to make you laugh
And cry.
and pick your nose.
And touch your boobs.